très bien ensemble, très bien ensemble. I love you, I love you, I love you. I need to make you see what you mean to me. But until I do, I'm hoping you will know what I mean. I will say the only words I know that you understand, my Michelle.
Very nice.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Here with John Hicks.
Wow.
John Hicks, how long have you been a musician?
I've been a musician for too long. I mean, I started out in a boy choir when I was 7, so that's 55 years or so.
55 years or so.
I've been gigging.
And how long has been the ukulele your
The
thing?
ukulele is a great Cape Ann story. For me, it's a great Cape Ann story. There was a woman from Rockport named Sally Darcy who went off with some guy from the service who got stationed in Hawaii, divorced the guy, raised her sons, went native, married a Hawaiian guy, and moved back when her folks in Rockport got old, father got old and infirm. So she opened this store called the Hula Moon, which is still there. Somebody else runs it, but
In
Sally and Kevin Tekakawa was her name when she came back from Hawaii. But they played Hawaiian music all day. They had Kona coffee, which was astounding. So I'm in there, like I had some time off. I was working at Addison Gilbert.
How long ago was this?
This is about almost late 90s. I think.
Okay.
Late 90s. She's in there with this first gift shop, then restaurant, serving really good coffee, playing Hawaiian music all day, every day. So there was a ukulele up there on the wall, right? So, I picked one up. I played guitar for years and just started playing. And Bobby Hebb lived upstairs. Okay, it was another weird Cape Ann thing. There's Bobby Hebb, wrote Sonny, famous songwriter, living upstairs. He'd come down, he'd take the ukulele off the wall, start playing. So I got to be good friends with him. I got to be good friends with them, and I just got hooked. I got hooked on Israel Kamakawiwa Ole. I got hooked on, all that great instrumental stuff, the slide guitar, lap steel guitar stuff. So I've gone down there to study guitar with Keola Beamer. It's pretty sad. And then when Sally passed away, I played her favorite song on her ukulele at her funeral.
Whoa.
Here at Burgess and Mackey.
Yeah.
What song was that?
It was this beautiful song called White Sandy Beach of Hawaii. Gorgeous song. I can't play it without crying.
Oh, man. Wow.
Really, it was powerful.
Unbelievable.
So, yeah, because in any native culture, and Hawaii is a great example, that's where you originated. Music is part of the culture. Okay, so as that culture developed, Hawaii is a great melting pot. It assimilates things from all over the world. It assimilates food. You get the best Korean food in the world, and Japanese food, and Chinese food, and Polynesian food. But they've also assimilated music. So because the Kings liked band music, they had marching bands in the 1800s. Because all the whalers from Nantucket and New Bedford were there in the 1800s, missionaries came. Mostly missionaries from around here. Wellesley. All these guys went and taught them hymns. So you had all these different musical cultures that were mixing together, band music, church music, and then when the ukulele showed up, when a bunch of Portuguese laborers showed up on a boat, because typhoid had killed so many of the native people, they had to import labor for the sugarcane and the pineapple plantations. So around about 1870, when this boat called the Ravenscroft showed up, these Portuguese sailors had been around, laborers had been around the Horn. They came from the Madeira Islands, as did many people here. And they were so happy, they jumped off and they played their little guitars on the dock. And the Hawaiian people loved it. They just went, "Oh, this is great stuff." The King started playing, and then there's the whole controversy about how the name ukulele, which means jumping flea, how that came about. It was basically one person who started playing ukulele. He used to hop around a lot and play played. But
So
it's
they call
also
it a jumping flea.
he was the jumping flea. But there's other theories too, that it was just that your fingers look like jumping fleas when you're hopping around. So Hawaii, and so it just, the cultures just mixed. And then in about 1815, when there was a big exposition, one of those big trade fairs in Chicago, they had a Hawaiian band, and these guys were very good. They had like a ukulele, guitar.
Is this 1815?
There's about 1912, 1915.
Yeah.
They showed up in Chicago, and then that same band ended up going to New York to work in a show called Sweet Bird of Paradise, or Bird of Paradise, which was a dumb, kind of like a Madame Butterfly plot where a white guy falls for a native girl and then abandons her. A typical sort of like love, melodrama. But they had the real Hawaiian band on stage, and they had hula dancing. Well, it took off. Tin Pan Alley, being the music machine at the time, cranked out all these songs. And these guys, most of the music business at that point were Jewish guys, Russian Jews, some Irish guys, your music industry people from the early 1900s, the big Tin Pan Alley machine. Irving Berlin was a major force. They all started cranking out these songs about Hawaii. All they knew were the word ukulele, the word hula, Island Maiden, Pacific Moon, and they made up songs, but they made up thousands of them, which the Hawaiians call hapahaole music. Haole being somebody from off island.
Ah, right.
So all these hapahaole songs, like you like a ukulele lady like a you. And, these were written by guys who had never been further south from New Jersey.
Right.
And they're cute songs, but the Hawaiians themselves, because the tourists would show up and expect to hear this music, well, not only did they learn all those songs, they learned how to swing them. And they're a very musical culture, and they also wrote their own tunes. There's some great Hawaiian songs from the teens and 20s, written by a couple of very great band leaders, because all the big hotels had bands. They had, dance bands, because back then there was a hotel ballroom, was a big dance band, and they imported those dance bands to the States. So you had a Polynesian room in
Right.
LA.
So that's what
and these
that took
Hawaiian
off.
artists would play in the mainland, and Vegas. It was always, Don Ho played in Vegas for 50 years, right?
Right.
So Hawaiian music, starting in about 1915 or 1920, really started to pervade, and ukulele just went crazy. The other major thing, and I think is a major thing, is there was a woman who played on the radio named May Singy Breen, and she was a very good performer. She was known as the ukulele lady, but she was an arranger, and she got hired by Irving Berlin for his music publishing company to put the ukulele chords on top of the music. So when you bought sheet music in 1920, 1930, 1940, and if you go now, Mystery Train, and get old sheet music, the ukulele chords are right on top of the music. So you can pick up and this was the first wave of the ukulele, starting about 1918, 1920. That Sweet Bird of Paradise show toured all over America for the next 10 years. And so the songs and the type of music kept hiring, island musicians. They could get a gig with a touring company, played in little towns. People became accustomed to the music. It fed into the popular Tin Pan Alley thing. When Bill Bailey plays his ukulele, and all these stupid, silly songs they wrote, some of which are quite pretty. But they have nothing to do with Hawaii.
Right.
Like there's an early one called Yaka Hula Hickey Dula. And frankly, it's a little racist, because it's like it's like saying Ching Chong Chow, or
Right.
But they were trying. They were trying, but later the Hawaiians wrote songs that have real Hawaiian words in them, and are usually kind of clever and usually kind of funny. And if you want, I'll be happy to play a cool one.
Can you play Mele
And we have to do we'll have to do Mele Kalikimaki.
What I want to do before we get to that is I want to talk about this
the
tape
wave.
and
Yes,
we
the
should
wave.
I
That
wanted
was
to
wave
pull
one.
it into
1950s was Wave 2. That was largely fueled by Arthur Godfrey, who played ukulele, played on TV and radio, and also used to do shows from Hawaii, and played real Hawaiian. Some great songs that he played. I want to go back to my little grass shack in Kealakekua, Hawaii. That's a great song. So he sang some cool stuff that was really much more Hawaiian and had much more respect for the culture and the language.
Right.
And then, lo and behold, starting about 15, 20 years ago now, it's been a while. I mean, I played the first Uke Fest in about